The purpose of this overview is to look at the options for transacting sales and sales orders in central accounting. The application doesn't force the user to follow a particular regime and can therefore be used in a way that best suits the user's business. On the sales menu, we have a number of menu items. Customer accounts and sales quotes will be dealt with in a separate tutorial. Here we'll look at sales orders, sales invoices, and receipts. We'll also look at stock and order items, and in particular, we'll note the quantity of SP cookbooks in stock. So we'll start with a very simple example and go to Receipts and transact a cash sale. This is where a customer comes into a premises to buy goods over the counter. So on the Receipts page, we'll click New Cash Sale. The New Cash Sale invoice page opens. The system defaults to a New Cash Sale customer account. We can select which bank account we want the money to be paid into, and in this instance we'll select the till at the front of the shop. There may be a customer reference, but this is unusual for a cash sale. The system defaults to today's date, and the customer type is Standard UK for VAT. We add a new line item, which, as you saw before, will be the SP cookbook. As we start typing, the system selects, and we simply click the drop-down box. The system has called up the unit price, and we enter the quantity that the customer wants to buy. A delivery method in this case is not necessary because the customer wants to take the goods away. We click Save and Send. An invoice or receipt is generated that can be printed or emailed depending on the customer preference. For cash sales, it's been set to print, so we can simply print that and the customer can go away with the goods and the invoice. If we look at sales invoices, we can see that the invoice has been added to the list. Here we should note that we can sort these lists by clicking on the headings. If we look back at receipts, we can see that the last receipt for a cash sale has been entered here as well. And finally on this item, if we look at stock and stock order items, we can see that our stock of SP cookbooks has been reduced by the 5 that we've just sold. Next, we can look at raising an invoice for a credit account customer. This is an invoice for a customer who has an agreement to pay within a specified time limit. We click New Invoice. We select a customer by typing the first few letters of the customer's name. We enter a purchase order number from the customer. It defaults to today's date, but we can edit if necessary. And VAT type is UK Standard. The delivery address can be selected from here, and we click Add New Line Item. This time we'll select a non-stock item, professional fees. A unit price is given, and any discount that this customer is entitled to can be netted out at this point. We are going to charge this customer for 1 day, and delivery method is not relevant here. We can specify that this invoice belongs to a particular project or department of our operation. If we click Save and Send at this point, we immediately get our invoice, which can either be printed or emailed to the customer. And as we can see here, the default is to email, which indicates that the customer has expressed a preference. And finally, in this overview, we're going to look at sales orders. We click New Order from the Actions menu. We'll use the same customer as before, a description to identify the order, a customer reference, the delivery address is as before, and click Line Item. we can enter a word from our description. The unit price is called from the database, and we enter the quantity required. Delivery method, courier, and delivery date. We could save and send at this point, but to demonstrate, we'll select this line item, imagining our customer wants to repeat this order on 3 consecutive weeks. So that's the first delivery date and 3 subsequent deliveries. These quantities, delivery methods, and dates can be edited at this stage. We can now save this sales order and note that it appears on the sales order list with the status of order. By selecting this order, we can generate a picking list for the whole order. Alternatively, we can pick orders by date, postcode, or delivery method. We can then identify which order should be delivered and generate a picking list which can go to the dispatch department. Having picked the goods, if we now go back to our sales order screen and select the order that we want to dispatch, we can create the delivery note and invoice by clicking this action. We can at this point make any alterations that need to be made, then click Dispatch and Invoice. On our sales orders sheet, you can see that the order has been changed in status to partially invoiced. And if we look at the invoice screen and sort by customer, we can see that the invoice appears.